guys for joining me again today for another Project Live Catch Up Friday video. So I am super excited to continue this video series. I took a bit of a break for the last few weeks, and I just posted the Monday video, but I have taken a bit of a break, just revamping and thinking about what I want to do. So I am keeping the Project Live Monday and also Catch Up Friday video series, but I am going to kind of sprucing up things up a little bit for the Saturday video series, so look out for that. And so for today I am going to be doing the week 20 from 2015, so I'm kind of making my way through it relatively I guess gradually and you know, happily, I guess. So the first thing I am going to do, I have this photo. I'm going to be using this photo as my title photo, and I am using these chipboard stickers, which are from the Felicity Jane November kit called Oh Dear, and I've also stamped the dates on the top there, kind of trying to make it a feature of that menu, which is from the restaurant we went to. This is Jamie's Italian. And so yeah, and the next thing I am doing here is I'm just writing directly onto the photo. And for this photo, it was a photo of when I was at work. I was working, I think it was night time, so I had to work late at night for that night, and so essentially just talk about the fact that I was eating a takeaway pizza from at my desk. And I have to apologize for if I'm a little bit kind of rusty in terms of narrating these voiceovering these videos. I haven't done it for a few weeks, so I'm kind of just trying to get into the swing of things, and I have to apologize if I do many which I tend to do, to be honest. So there you go. So the next thing I am doing here is I just pull out a few bits and pieces from the Drive story kit from Elliotwoods. So for this week, I am using a few of Elliotwood's story kits. I'm using the Drive, Review, Surprise and Magic, just in case you're wondering, but I'm mainly going to be using the Drive story kit. I'm also using the Felicity Jane Oh Dear kit, as I said before, from November last year, and also the Hip Kit Club's Scrapbook kit from November 2016 as well. So with this photo here, I was just thinking what I want to do, and I'm kind of just like, I want to add a bit of kind of some journaling at the bottom, but I'm not sure what I want to do. I decided to kind of create my own kind of tab, essentially, by just cutting up this blank Project Live card. And so just trimming that off, and then because the photo itself is actually slightly smaller than 3x4, which is what the card is, the size of the card is, so I had to trim that and then round the corner using my corner chomper from We Are Memory Keepers. I've used the 1/4 inch one, just in case you're interested. I've also added the washi tape, which is from the Felicity Jane kit from November 2016. And now I'm thinking I want to add a kind of a prompt onto that space, and so I'm just using this stamp set, which is from the Elliotwood story stamp. So it's I think it's the Drive stories stamp kit. Yeah, story stamp kit. Now the next thing I'm doing here is I'm just adding some journaling. I've been really kind of loving doing some kind of creative journaling, so just, you know, doing different sizes, kind of like, you know, capitalized as well as lowercase and all these kind of things, just kind of playing around with, you know, how I write, I guess, and I've been loving that. And I've added this word phrase sticker, which is from the Review story kit, so this red one, which says Capturing Our Life. And I am going to add this heart here, which is from the Tough story kit from Elliotwoods. And the next thing I am going to do, I've been kind of just, when I was doing this page, I was feeling like I didn't have enough kind of small element or labels or tags and those kind of things. And so I decided to just kind of create a few of those using just blank piece of cardstock, and then adding a kind of strip of pattern paper here and there, and that is exactly what I'm doing here. So I'm just pulling out this pattern paper here, which is from the Hip Kit Club's, which month is November 2016, and the paper itself I think is from Pink Paisley's, I'm not sure which line it is, but I'm pretty sure it's from Paige Evans, one of her newer lines, I think. And so I'm just kind of trimming that up. It's essentially, it's a pattern paper which on one side is kind of full size sheet, but on the other side it has like, you know, a bunch of different patterns, but they're kind of printed in a more kind of smaller scale, which works really well for this kind of element, to use it as this kind of element. So I just cut it up. I chose the kind of yellowish one, and then I just added at the edge at the end of the white cardstock there. And I essentially just talked about that meal that we had. So we went out for breakfast, so we went out for yum cha in Sydney, and that was our first meal in Sydney during that trip. And now I am adding a kind of the sticker here, which is from, I think from the surprise story kit from Allywood's. And it's a photo of me pretending to drink from this massive bowl / cup. And so I thought I'll just write directly onto that photo. And I've used the, I think it was the Staedtler Lumo colour pen, so it's a permanent marker. And now I am going to I'm going to create my own journaling card here, so I picked out this die cut piece, which is from the Hip Kit Club's kit, and I think it's actually from a kind of die cut pack, which is from Paige Evans, so the Pink Paisley's Paige Evans line. And so I am also backing that with this kind of pen paper. So it's actually from a big kind of cut apart sheet from Felicity Jane kit from November 2016. And I really like how the black and white really kind of pops the die cut piece on the top there, so that's why I am using this one. And with the journaling on this card, I essentially talked about the trip of that week that we went up to Sydney for holiday. And so instead of actually talking about a specific photo, which I've already kind of added a little bit of journaling directly into the photo, so I decided to just talk about it in general. And then I'm just using some foam dots to pop that up. And now I'm also using this tag here, which says, I think, weekend trip. And then I've used my tiny attacher to staple that down. The next thing I am doing here is I'm using this Drive Story, the chipboard piece, which is from Drive Story Kit, to add directly on top of the photo. And I was actually thinking of adding some journaling using this kind of gold coloured pen, but it didn't look that obvious, so it was really hard to see. So I decided to use the black one once again. So I'm using the Lumo colour pen. I sometimes use the Lumo colour, sometimes I use the Sharpie ultrafine pen. So those are my two favourite pens. I am looking for a kind of a thicker permanent marker pen, to be honest. So if you have a favourite one that you love, please feel free to leave any comment. I am just kind of looking around at the moment. I want something which is not too it doesn't emit much smell. I scrap in a kind of closed off room, so I try not to use something that it has a really, really strong smell. While I was talking there, I added that piece of kind of yellow die cut piece, which is from the Drive Story kit as well, from Allywood's, and I attached that down using my tiny attacher. Because it's kind of slightly see-through, I decided to use the tiny attacher, but just in case you actually just want to use normal liquid glue, I would I normally use the glossy accent, I will dab it onto my finger and then rub it at the back, and that has been working really well for me. It doesn't show through at all. Well, I think most of the time, yeah. And so it's been working in that really well for me, just in case you're interested in using it that way or tearing down that way. I decided to create another label for myself for this photo again. So I cut up a blank piece of white cardstock, and then I added that piece of chipboard there, which is from the Magic Story Kit from Ali Woods. And the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm cutting this 4x6 photo into two, and I'm thinking about how to add some journaling there. I'm just thinking, I'm really liking the idea of having a strip of cardstock or white cardstock on the bottom there, but I also want to use this piece here, which I have made a while ago. So I essentially I use my ink machine. I printed kind of a digital element which I have created, just in case you're interested. You can actually download it from my blog at eatscrapbook.wordpress.com, and I also have a video on how to create this kind of journaling spot as well on my blog as well. So I essentially use a ink machine with some gold foil to create that, and then I cut that in half and then I add it onto the two photos. Now I'm thinking I was actually going to write directly onto the bowl there. I was going to do some journaling around the edge of that plate. I decided against it largely because I felt like stamping, I guess, so I decided to use this stamp set here, which is from Kelly Perky. It's actually quite funny because she's the one that is very much the leading person for writing around the bowl. But so with this stamp set, it's actually called, I think, Shoreditch. So it's from Kelly Perky. I'm not sure if it's still available, but it's one of my favorite stamp sets. So I decided to stamp the word Jamie, which is the restaurant that we went to, and the ink itself stays on black ink. It's called Jet Black. And so for me, I try not to stamp kind of too evenly, largely because, to be honest, it's a lot harder to do. So I think intentionally looking kind of a little bit messy is why I tend to go for. And so the stars, so that stamp set with all the stars is actually from the Felicity Jane stamp set from her kit called Emmeline, I think, and it's from October last year. And actually, one thing I want to point out, which is with all the row of stars, the stamp set was actually straight, so I decided to kind of bend it a little bit so that it fits along the, it looks like it has a, kind of follows the curve of the bowl there. Now, for the last card here, I decided to pull out this card here, which actually came from a cut apart sheet from the Felicity Jane kit from November last year. And the camera is kind of, the light's a bit bright there, but I think it says, it's our faves. And so I've used all these two stickers here to kind of add a bit of interest onto the card, and those stickers are from the Ali Woods surprise story kit. So here's some close up, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me again today. If you have been my subscriber for a long time, thank you so much for following me and watching all these videos. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'll be happy to answer them. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And if you want YouTube to let you know when my next video comes out, please subscribe. As I said, I'm gonna be sprucing up the Saturday series, so look out for that. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. Thanks. Bye.